want to welcome everybody to our Cleburne County Commission meeting. Call to order. Ms. Cobb? Here. Mr. Owens? Present. Mr. Hendricks? Here. Mr. Hicks? Here. We do have a quorum. This time we'll pledge allegiance to the flag. I'll lead us in prayer. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Thank you, Father, for all your blessings. We just ask for your guidance and your wisdom in this meeting this evening. Help us to make good decisions that will help our county and help our citizens. Help us to grow. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen. No one is asked to speak tonight.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Those two ladies didn't call you to talk about the school?
Yeah, I had told them that we didn't have anything on the agenda, that nothing was going to get voted on tonight.
See, when I spoke to them, they both told me they was coming to the meeting.
And I said, I explained to them we would not be making a decision tonight, because I think you thought we had something on the agenda, and I didn't remember, and I double checked with her, and we didn't, so.
Well, we had that resolution last month, but we didn't pass it or vote on it, I think.
The resolution was what? To only move.
The resolution was to.
Yes.
Can you
make a motion in this meeting? I'm asking to hold it, or do we have to come up with another resolution?
What did we pass?
It was our E last month up there.
Because I mean,
This is Able. That's Able.
There's one on there, I think.
Whereas the only location at New Hope Community has been moved over there, whereas the property building at New Hope Community is no longer in that category. They're ready to sell at auction.
I can't remember if we voted on it or not, but.
You did agree to sell or auction, but you didn't take a final decision of what to do.
How to sell it, right?
At the work session last week, you discussed different auctioneers, but you've not made that selection.
Right.
So you've not made a selection as to exactly which method you want to use. You're just basically declaring the surplus.
I don't mind waiting if the ladies think they put something together, but I don't want to drag us out to next year.
Right. I agree, and I still got to get that other auction. We're just trying to get things ready, but they're going to be Thursday at Antioch at 6 to see how much of a crowd they have to see and talk about.
Is that across the road from the school?
That's Antioch. It's on up the road, on the left. So they asked me to attend, and I said I would. So if y'all want to go,
because there's a lot, I have a lot of people that it's not in my district, but they're thinking they all can get together and form a 501c to create, to be able to save and turn it into a community or turn it into a project.
well, I think I was contacted by Beverly Casey. I think there's still a 501c that has a historical. And they were talking about changing the name of that. I don't know how much trouble that would be or whatever. But she was going to go out and talk with them too, and if they can all come together, that was going to be their recommendation. They was asking us to drag our feet. But I figured we had time to drag our feet.
It'd be great that we say in our history, and if somebody's willing to step up, I'm
You
sure
need
we
to
all
put something in writing to postpone the sale from running table.
Now, you've not made a final decision as to which method you want to go forward. You just basically declared it surplus to investigate a method of disposition, but you've not decided how you're going to dispose of it.
And that's why I was going out and get, he brought a proposal, I got to call it, get that gentleman, we got to set a date for him to come up. And I got another auction company to come up. Did y'all all get that email too? Okay.
just, like I said, anytime we can save the history, and somebody's willing to step up there and do it, I think that's great, and we need to give them the opportunity.
And that would be the body's decision if y'all decide as a whole what's best. There's been all kind of rumors.
Probably in my company.
Yeah. So, but when it comes down to the cut and bait, I don't know. I hope they can. So. All right. So, Sheriff, do you have anything? No bid openings, no awards or presentations, no scheduled public hearing, consent agenda.
Make a motion to accept it.
I second it.
Was it everything was initial?
It's initial, except for in the Portuguese absence.
Yeah, so it was still standing. Okay, all in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. New business industrial development agreement. Whereas the Cleburne County Commission desires to assist the city in their efforts to fund economic and industrial development, therefore the Cleburne County Commission agrees to allocate the sum of $50,000 each year for fiscal year 24, 25, and 26.
I'll make a motion.
I second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah. I would like to change this,
Amended?
amend it to a 1-year deal instead of a 3-year deal, until we get some of this other stuff with the city sorted out. So I don't know if everybody else agrees with that or not.
You seconded it, are you okay with that amendment?
Well, I think the full reason that we did it 3 years was because
Oh, I know how
we
we
had
did.
the plan out. So I don't know how that will,
With all the other stuff going on with the city, I don't really feel comfortable doing a 3-year contract with them, but if every time we turn around.
well, I know that this is, the industrial development is totally different than what we're dealing with as far as.
Well, I mean, if you don't agree with it, then don't, we won't change it.
Let me just keep it as.
Well, now, all right, so if she doesn't agree with the amendment, so he doesn't have a second on the amendment, right?
Correct.
But Mr. Hill, could he, if he wanted to, or
If you chose to.
if he chose to, I was just curious how that would work. Okay.
Basically, you would have to vote down the first motion
Okay.
and then make a new motion for a 1-year contract.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
Because the motion
Because she's
second is
second.
on the
All right.
table, is to approve it as read.
Just trying to respect the rules and procedures, just wondering. Okay. So we don't have the second for the amendment changed, so the stance is this, so we're ready to vote? Okay. All in favor of of item A, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. The ayes still have it. New business, item B, whereas the Cleburne County engineer is advertised and received bids for residential garbage collection services in the county. Whereas the county engineer recommends award of the contract for residential garbage collection to the lowest bidder, Waste Management. Therefore, the Cleburne County Commission agrees to award the contract to Waste Management. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Have a motion and a second. Ms. Cobb, Mr. Hill is a second. Any discussion?
Yes. I talked to Lee about this because I'm getting, I've been talking to the resident and us going, the cost is so much more. And I talked to Lee about us sending it back out for bids and see if it would come in lower because of the cost being so high. And that's what I'd like to do, of course, to rebid it. Can we do that, Jason?
Whether you can do something does not necessarily mean you should, because the bids have been opened and made public. If you were to reject a qualified, responsive, and responsible bidder, which Waste Management has done, then they could potentially seek litigation against you, because their number is now known that someone else can come in and bid below it and undercut them. And they're going to be put in a position where they have to bid again to try and undercut whoever might try to undercut them. So You've gone through a legal bid process, you've gotten the lowest bidder, and they're responsible bidders. It would probably be unwise to reject good bids, just try and get something lower. Will they sue? I don't know, but could they? Yes.
I just wanted to put it out there because, you know, it is a large increase for the customer.
It certainly is,
And
unfortunately.
so being able to try to encourage more people to bid, it's got, you know, just to see if we could get more. So I had to ask for my people's sake, because it's a big increase for them.
Any other discussion?
Let me say this. The last time we bid this out, the reason we got $47, the next bid was $56. The reason we got the $47 bid is because that company was trying to sell itself to the other company. I don't think under normal circumstances they would bid that low, so. But it's still, you know, it's still pretty substantial raise, but so is everything right now, so.
You know, it's kind of hard because, you know, I've had so many complaints. And I probably would have the same with other companies, but it's hard to look at our residents and say, I'm going to charge you more for this service that you've not been getting. I mean, you know, there's people there's every week, there's somebody that's being missed. And I get, that's just in my district. And I don't know about, I know you've had problems, and then that's problems. So it's kind of hard not to sit here and fight for the residents with the situation. And how do we know if the other companies are going to be the same? Well, we don't.
Right.
Because we haven't used them. Which Republic, when we had them, which is part of the same company, we didn't have this issue. I don't know if it's when they restructure or what it is that's caused the change, that caused the problem. I know they changed drivers from one after the other, but it's a nightmare every week. So, I mean, what do we do?
It's entirely up to you, I'm just advising you of potential risks.
Of course, I have to do what's best for the county.
We're giving the residents the lowest bid, nothing else we can do.
You already voted? All in favor saying aye?
No,
Ayes have it. So y'all got these different ones, different votes, 2-1, 2-1. Okay. Resolution for the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act funds for government services, County Road 57. Whereas Cleburne County, Alabama, has received American Rescue Plan Act Physical Recovery Fund, and is charged with ensuing that such funds are expended in accordance with state and federal laws. Whereas under the final rule published by the United States Department of Treasury dated January 6, 2022, the county had the option to designate standard allowance of up to $10 million of its ARPA funds not to exceed the county's total ARPA fund award of $2,896,093 as revenue replacement. And whereas the final rule provides that the designation of this standard allowance is a one-time irrevocable election that must be made for the period of performance of the ARPA fund award. And whereas the county has duly made this election and designated its entire ARPA fund award as ARPA revenue replacement funds, and whereas the county may expend ARPA revenue replacement funds for government services, and whereas the Cleburne County Commission has determined that there is a need to provide pay-go construction and maintenance services to ensure the safety and accessibility of county roadways. Whereas the Commission has further determined it is within the authority of the county to provide these government services, and whereas the Commission has determined that providing these services a necessary, reasonable, and proportionate measure to facilitate the provision of these government services. Now therefore be it resolved by the Commission as follows. The county shall conditionally allocate up to $447,266 of its ARPA revenue replacement funds to be expended for pay-go construction and maintenance on County Road 57. Expenditure of funds allocated herein is contingent on compliance with state competitive bid laws and any federal procurement requirements applicable to the expenditure of ARPA revenue replacement funds. All bid documents and contracts awarded for the project shall include a term and conditions, the provision of attachment A to this resolution. All contractors selected pursuant to the competitive bid process shall be required to execute the certifications included in attachments B to this resolution, as well as submit a fully executed copy of the contractor's E-Verify memorandum of understanding for employers that has been submitted through the E-Verify system. If other funding sources are used to complete the project, ARPA funds expended for the project shall be separately tracked and accounted for. Expenditures of ARPA revenue replacement funds as authorized by this resolution is further contingent on the continued appropriation and availability of ARPA revenue replacement funds for this purpose, and is in no event shall be used for any expense not obligated by December 31st, 2024, and expended by December 31st, 2026. I'll entertain a motion. Any discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
You have 2 items to be added to the agenda.
Okay, would you read those 2 items?
Yes, sir. Item D is appointment of 2023-2024 Legislative Committee Representative. And item E is designation of nominees for the Cleburne County Board of Equalization.
I'll entertain a motion to add these 2 to the agenda. And a second. Any discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. D.
The first resolution, whereas each county is tasked to submit the name of 1 commissioner to serve on the ACCA Legislative Committee, and whereas the deadline for submission of the name is August 1st of each year, now therefore the Cleburne County Commission nominates Commissioner Laura Cobb to serve as the county's representative to the ACCA Legislative Committee from August 1st, 2023 through July 31st, 2024.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Item E, whereas the State Commissioner of Revenue has requested nominations from Cleburne County for members of the Cleburne County Board of Equalization, and whereas Section 40-3-2 Code of Alabama sets forth specific qualifications for Board of Equalization members, and whereas the Cleburne County Commission finds that the following nominees are duly qualified, now therefore the Cleburne County Commission hereby nominates the following 3 individuals for consideration to serve on the Cleburne County Board of Equalization: Sheila Hunt, Samuel Jackson, and Henry Cole.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And that gets us to, we have no old business discussion items.
You got reports first.
Oh, yeah. I'm in a hurry, huh? I'm just in a hurry, huh? Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I've passed this list out to everyone, but I'll kind of go over it briefly. Of course, we had an emergency call meeting this month and a special call meeting this month, so I've prepared resolutions for those meetings. Provided records requested to the city of Cleburne. They were requested public records from us. Gathered information for examiners that were working on a revenue commission audit for 6 years of work, finances. Gathered resolutions for this meeting. I've begun the process of putting together my projections for revenue and expense for this year based on the numbers for June. I should have those very soon. I'll send them out to you as soon as I get those together. Those will help start the budget process for the year. Met with JSU concerning scheduling for events. Kristen and I met with them last week. And then the rest of it was pretty much just our normal things of payroll direct deposits and transfers and AP checks and transfers and then months. And then, of course, I prepare A&A reports each month.
Any questions?
I think so. They're pretty happy, didn't they?
They had probably, 12 folks here Friday, and they're talking about how they can,
Coordinate, so.
and then Kristen has agreed to try to help with the process of booking the place. That'll kind of make it more in-house. Kind of helps us keep more, to know what's going on.
And I think in turn, it's, if they can get a little more revenue out of that room, using their room and booking for that room, then they're less likely to have an issue with renewing each year or amount that they're, they have increases in the amount that we charge. So I think that's just a little piece that would keep them happy. So.
They're looking at doing some sort of possible orientation at times, and then also some of their students have to help with taxes, and they do it free of charge to help people with their taxes. They've been doing that in county. I guess the gentleman that's over the school business, or the dean, he says that he's going to send them out here to have a free tax day to help. So y'all let us know when that's going to happen. And if y'all know anybody that might need help with their taxes, free help.
Fine, do we have it like advertised to you that the buildings for rent? A lot of people don't know about it, like local people, maybe we need to get it out for, because I'm there for a while, I know people are renting for showers, they're renting for class reunions, but.
And I think we all hit the COVID deal, and I think that slowed it up and people forgot. And also there is a cost, and we're trying to work, but you look now, it seems like the area's been flooded with a lot of different venues now. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Everywhere you turn, somebody's got a new wedding place or venue.
Those are the things that we discussed with the provost last week as well, about getting some of that information out there. And I said that for us, we could even tie that in with our county website and Facebook page. So I think it's about getting the word out there, but like,
That's what is it, 250?
they're gonna work up a one-page deal for us to be able to hand to people, because they asked if we had someone come in to look, would we, be fine with showing them the room over there and giving them the one-page document that they're gonna create that tells, what the rules are, what the process is of booking the room, and how much it costs. So it should be just easy.
I knew that they have a cost for hiking the room and for the door.
Yes, sir.
Is this all legal? We're competing with outside private businesses?
It's actually JSU that be renting their position, their portion of the building, so it's not us.
We're just kind of helping.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever reach out to the coroner about the deputy coroners, and we need to get that straightened out? That's been going on for 3 or 4 months now.
I emailed him and told him that he needed to, when he's going to have a deputy coroner, that he needs to come before the commission and get that approved, including the one that brought this whole issue to the front. And I have not heard anything back from him, but I did send that to him last week, so.
I know we refused to write a check. What else do we need to do on that? That's about it. Are we got it, do we have, I guess my question is, do we have any liability?
Well, he's the one using a non-appointed, or had used a non-appointed coroner, He could have some issues with reimbursement depending upon what the situation was, insurance-wise.
Does the deputy coroner sign off on anything, or the coroner sign
It
off?
depends on who's there at the scene.
And if he's simply signing off on anything,
Should
can't
be.
be approved.
But then again, if the coroner's not available to declare time of death, then the deputy coroner would have to do that. Anything more than just refusing to pay that invoice for that individual would probably be something along the lines of, filing a petition for writ of mandamus against him to force him to comply with the terms of his office. That might be kind of a clear option. It'd be better to just sit down and talk with him and get his names.
He just needs to come forward commission and bring a name and we'll vote on
And it can simply be done, as he send up a resolution, you don't even have to attend if he doesn't want to.
You think it'd be good for Lisa to actually send him another email and saying, if you don't have time to attend, just provide me an email? I mean, a resolution, I'm sorry.
And if you want to copy me, I can certainly respond to that and say, Mr. Coroner, this is a requirement of your office under section so-and-so.
Would it be better if you email it?
Well, it's been coming from the administrator, I don't want to step on her toes, but I'll be happy to weigh in and help.
Or I told him to fly over.
Any questions for Lisa?
Yeah, but if that deputy coroner hadn't been approved, this signed paper, really. Somebody's gonna have liability. Good.
That's what I'm saying, how did he get funded? I know she got funded.
This is mine.
It's not mine, it's good.
You're just sharing it.
It's
You
good.
get my drink?
I was spitting back at you.
Okay.
It's got a little darker purple.
Yeah, I'll get the worm.
Take a drink.
Any other questions for Lisa? Mr. Rowland?
No report, sir.
County engineers on vacation? I hate
Trying to
it.
help you get out of here.
Yeah, I know. Appreciate that. You have a question?
Yeah, well, it's something that everybody needs to know, it is. And Jason and I discussed it, but, on the watershed deal, we're not getting any kind of response from Mike Rogers. I mean, they ain't been returning my emails for last month. I reached out to USDA, they not returning my calls. I talked to Meg, and Meg talked to Jason, and she said the next move might be not a lawsuit, what do you call it?
It is, basically, it is a lawsuit. It's called a declaratory judgment action, where you file with the court to have the court declare the rights and responsibilities between the respective parties. So it would be a suit by the Cleburne County Commission against the landowners, whether it be private landowners and or the federal landowners, to have a court say, this is who's responsible for it, this is the owner, the county can't spend money on private property, and move forward from there. Now, that could also be done as a consent decree, if some of the private property owners are willing to step up and say, it's our watershed, we'll take responsibility for it, and that could be filed as an agreement. But it would require some third-party action by a court to declare the rights and responsibilities.
I mean, I don't know that that's where we're at right now. I think Meg is talking to one of our senators right now. I don't know if that's gonna go anywhere or not. But, I don't know, I'm disgusted. I mean, I've been dealing with this for a year and a half, and Jason's had some dealings with it.
I've dealt with it in Randolph County for the last 3 years.
But we got 15 watersheds for most of any county in the state. There's only 105
Either 105 or 115, I can't remember.
in the whole state. We got 15. So, and we're one of the poorest counties in the state. So, it could be bad or nothing could ever happen. Who knows?
And what if we don't take any action, we just keep doing what we're doing?
As long as nothing happens, it'll be just like it's been the last 50 years. But
If the dam
But if
fails,
something happens, then then that's when the judgment's going to remember who's responsible to it.
The USDA says we're responsible.
But we're saying we're not, and we're going to file a lawsuit.
I'm not suggesting we file a lawsuit, but I'm just saying we got to
Cost.
What, when you get into it, what about our insurance company? How do they look at it?
That'd be a question for them.
Yeah,
That
because
was-
that's where it would come into.
I don't know that we have those watersheds as listed properties under the insurance.
If we did that, we'd be
we would
claiming
be-
ownership.
we would be claiming
We're not claiming ownership.
Hmm.
They're probably not gonna provide coverage for something that's hasn't been considered in the policy.
Do you think that they would help in the lawsuit though?
Not if it's a lawsuit that we're filing declaratory judgment actions. They defend suits.
Right,
They
right.
don't fight
Well, that's what I mean,
suits.
if we were a defendant, if something happened, would they?
They would probably provide a defense under a reservation of rights.
Okay.
That is saying that they would provide a defense up to a certain amount, but they're not gonna commit to paying any judgments until there's been some determination of whether they're responsible under the policy. Or they may flat out deny coverage.
I mean, the whole deal is screwy. The USDA says we're responsible, but that's all they'll say. They won't provide anything else.
And the documents that we have show that there were easements granted in order to set up these watersheds, not actual ownership of the property. And an easement does not equate to ownership regardless of how many times the gentleman from USDA tried to claim it as.
I mean, I've had a gazillion phone calls and emails for all of them, and it gets to a point where they just quit responding. They won't return a call, they won't send an email. And like I said, the senator, I think Meg reached out to her last month or month before last, and I don't know if that's gonna go anywhere or not.
The easement can be voided too, can it not?
It can be abandoned.
Abandoned.
Anyway, I just thought everybody would know.
If it's abandoned, then that locks our hand anyway.
But in order to get that determination, we can't just say it is so. We have to prove it is.
The USDA, this is what I'm getting, they think they can say, this dam needs a valve, and we're supposed to do it, just because they say do it. That's, I mean, some of the phone calls got
Well,
pretty easy.
hour-long phone call was pretty specific that if it's privately owned property, we are prohibited by the Alabama Constitution from spending county funds on private property. They didn't seem to understand that.
I brought that up more than once to everybody. And I sat across the table with Mike Rogers, and he has done absolutely nothing. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's true.
He's a former county commissioner.
He ain't helped us at all.
Okay,
Let's get them worked that out.
sir?
You skipped me, Ms. Collins.
No, I was fixing to ask about discussion items. I really wasn't trying to skip you, I promise. Yes, sir.
I would like to call the sheriff to the stand, please.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I like that.
Sheriff? Under the gun.
I want to discuss these figures, well, that's what I want us to discuss.
I heard y'all laying up here for them.
Well, both of them. Let's get both of them at one time. You feel comfortable with that number, that's not exaggerated?
I can bring out that lane.
That's the exact number.
Pretty exact, yeah.
That was a bit less because of the food.
I'm talking about the $58.
I knew it was gonna be high. I didn't know it was gonna be that high.
Yeah, that's as close as you can get it this fiscal year.
And then medical on top of that.
Is that's included everything, isn't it, the 5865?
It's everything
It's
listed
the
there.
cost of, that's the cost of feeding them, housing them, the medical and everything.
Everything except what's not included in their medical contract. Which it's going to be more, because our contract just includes $10,000 of outside medical. We had one bill that was 59,000. And I negotiated it down to 8,000, so that took, that don't include all these other possible bills. Our medical contract covers city inmates. They see our nurse, our doctor, we give them the medicines, all that's included under our medical contract. If they have to go outside, then they pay whatever the outside bills are.
That's like if they got,
Had to go to the hospital.
got transferred to the hospital or something.
The average cost of a prisoner is, you might as well say $60 a day.
Pretty much,
Would you be comfortable with us sharing this with,
I don't have a problem with it.
Let me ask you this too, and I don't know how it works about what costs me to run instead of being here, but if we went up on the fines, how much of that comes back in to support the housing of the inmates?
all the fines go straight to the general budget, how they're set up to go, it doesn't come to us, it doesn't affect our budget.
Actually, the fine, I think the fine was designed to pay for the jail. The 1 cent sales tax was basically, it went to general fund, but it was nice to help fund the upkeep and the salaries because the commission figured out back in 2000 they could build it and pay for it, but they thought, whoa, they found out that we got to run it too. And that's when the sales tax came in. However, the sales tax was not earmarked. It was let to go to general fund, but
we just got to increase, we see now that your budget on housing inmates is going to have to be more. Because I'm going to y'all just, and it's not just y'all. Let me say this, it's not just y'all, it's several. They're so off on their budget. I mean, and not just, we're not talking about 5%, 10%. Some of these departments are 200% over, and we need to get a handle on that. So you know now that you're going to have to increase that budget line coming this year. They have to decrease somewhere else, but that's going to have to be increased.
Yeah, utilities are outside.
And since we brought this up, let's make sure that we understand it. He had the internet problem, and Lane has negotiated with them to expand it out for 3 years. He got charged $6,000 because we failed to renew the contract. The contract came to our office instead of going to them, correct?
Well, the bill comes up.
The bill came.
Yes.
At that time, we weren't aware that, but we need to somewhere 6 months prior before this comes up again.
Is it a year?
It's a 3 years.
3 years.
Because he got hit $6,000 not once but twice for internet. And they will not refund us back, is this correct, Lane? Will not refund us back.
Correct, yeah.
But
I just
they will
negotiated with them.
expand it over a 3-year period.
Yeah, I got them to negotiate it down to where it took care of that, and actually then some, but it's over 3 years, it didn't affect us.
So we've got to make sure that we keep all of those contracts on that.
Just one of the things that we had our accountabilities. Things that come up there several years old like that.
Because, you look on here, he's like 800% over.
Ryan signed this 36-month contract May 4th this year, so probably January, the 3 years into.
We watching that.
well, I appreciate you guys getting this together. I got one more question. How do you two allowance?
It's
not going.
All I said, we're probably gonna be in the hole this month, probably.
We're gonna be in the hole in the foreseeable future.
Yeah. I mean, the only way that's gonna come out is if they might be a bill passed where we get more money per inmate. I'm gonna talk to Randy just as soon as possible about maybe trying to get a bill passed to raise that. I don't know what, but.
What has made it,
25.
what has made it so bad so quick was we get a lot of our food from the DOC, Department of Corrections. Well, in January, they just raised all the prices, didn't tell anybody. Well, all these jails, their bills about tripled. So what it was, they were actually undercharging everybody what it was, they just wouldn't pay attention, and then when they actually caught up, now then, our food prices really tripled.
Now, and I asked this, to some of the commission before, why does the state not take on the responsibility of just sending out food, pre-packaged food to jails? They have
They
one
nice
big
food,
kitchen and sends them out to all their jails.
Because
They have one
recently,
nutrition.
up until recently, each sheriff was in charge of food money, so any of the extras they got to keep. And since that changed, everybody's on the same.
Yeah.
But the larger jails, if you've got hundreds of inmates, you're getting a whole lot more money, you can do it. But jails that have less than 100 inmates, you just can't break even.
I thought
Sounds
so.
like a good point for the new legislative representative.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
I mean, does it not make sense? That-
You
It's mainly because there's a
You
lot of,
you would have that nutrition there to prepare the meals out, and then you would ship them out.
but then there's a lot, how many do we have that supposedly got allergies, food allergies?
Yeah, you got all that, and then they probably got like 7 or 8 that can't eat pork, probably
Yeah.
religious reasons right now. And of course, we don't even serve pork, so it's really not,
I didn't say that.
everything we serve is turkey or chicken or best.
Yeah. Just,
And I talked to several sheriffs about ours, about the same size as us, they're having the same problem. The thing, before we can file that emergency grant or whatever it is, I think we have to be in the negative or zero before we can file for it.
And you're limited what you can keep in that too.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, from what I read, there's a limit.
But Clay County, they filed this like at the first of the year, I believe, Clay County did.
I read something on that. You and Ryan have to sign an affidavit to go with that.
Right.
I should just go ahead and try it.
Mhm. I mean,
But my question
We need a
was,
resolution on something like that, you think?
I don't think there was any requirement in the act that the commission had to pass a resolution.
I read it 2 or 3 times, and I think it's just.
I think it's just our signature, yeah.
that's-
Well, you had to sign that affidavit,
Right.
then you gotta sign the form. back to the form.
It's basically a responsibility of the sheriff as a constitutional officer, and it takes the cooperation of the chairman, but it basically comes down to the sheriff's responsibility.
send that in. Send it in.
The court calls.
You have that? Affidavit?
I mean, we can get it, I don't have it in hand, with the.
I've got a copy of it,
Yeah, we can get it.
Well, we'll let you see a copy of it.
That's fine. No, shoot it to him.
but I think we've got to be a negative balance before we can do it.
Y'all can make it a negative balance.
Oh, it'll be negative probably.
It will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two accounts now, so
Yeah.
one's a city funded account and one's the
But that
county.
don't pertain to this emergency money, that's state money, isn't it?
Whoa.
It's just how the auditors, that law,
They told Paula, I think, once our state, account is zero, then we start pulling from the city account to, to help. I don't think there's gonna be enough.
But once the state money's gone, they're gonna apply for the emergency fund though, right?
Correct.
That's the way I read
The
it.
way I took it, yes, yeah.
So you need to zero that out
Mhm.
as quick as you can, but
Yeah.
y'all done started using some of it, haven't you?
I think there's still a little bit left in the state,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be gone when we pay this next fee bill.
Paul explained to me that It's the amounts of the bills that are paid out are paid by percentage. They
This-
do it by percentage
yes.
of Water City inmates in Water County. And she said this last go around, which when I talked to her, June had not been paid for yet, May had, and she said that you only have enough money in the state account to actually pay one of the three
Right.
bills.
And then once that's gone, then we could use more of the city to
Right.
pay, but it's gonna, it would drain that
She's
too.
gonna getting money back from the state, but
Right.
it's just not enough to time to
Very
remember.
much expensive.
We get $2.25 a day.
That's
Three
three
meals.
three meals a day.
But then they're telling you what to feed too, you can't just give them a bologna sandwich, right?
Well, that's something else, man. What they, that's someone that wants to do. Just take a list of the food you want to get
Beef
from
or
the state.
chicken.
Chicken or nutrition, yeah, come up with a meal plan that would fit in that
Yeah,
budget.
I knew you.
Everybody operate the same.
That sounds like something that ACCA and your organization need to get together and put to the legislators next year.
Yeah.
We do it as a, you know.
Like I thought with several, you know, that I could, that, well, I had a chance, and they said they was in the same boat as I was.
But there gotta be a solution.
Right.
21 years ago, the break-even point for inmates was, I think, like 43 inmates. You had to have 43 inmates in jail to break even to pay the food. Well, that's 21 years ago, so now there's no telling what the break-even point is with these prices, so.
They can't keep, what, maybe 60.
With the new bond schedules, they're in and out. You just
Yeah,
can't keep anybody in jail.
just send that on up to them in the summer.
Do you have any more questions?
If,
Oh, yeah, they don't even, most times they don't even get that
they don't,
feed.
they don't get to a meal,
Yeah.
they just pour right out.
The court fee, that goes to pay the payment on the jail. What's gonna happen when we pay the jail off next year? Which I think it's only, is it like $35 or something?
I think it's 30.
30.
I think the original law actually said, and maintenance, didn't it? It was something more than just.
Yeah, I can-
payment.
I'll try to look that local act up tomorrow.
But you've got, you know, just
I looked
keeping
at
the
it
jail itself up, the repair.
4 or 5 years ago, because we were looking at the term, I got in touch with the bond council, and I think maintenance was one of the things.
One more time. The vehicle maintenance is up in September. It can be renewed for 2 more years, according to what the contract says. By the looks of some of these bills,
Hey,
I don't know that we need to renew it. I think we're getting raked over the coals.
I don't know.
So, but we can, I mean, we can get out of it September 30th,
Well, we
if
just
that's
got,
what y'all want to do.
we just got upcharged for a tow wheel. One of our cars went down. And when we got the bill, we thought, well, they never charged us that. So we got over the bill, and it was $175 what the chief was charged. Buster's charged us over 200, and it was almost $50 in charge.
I noticed, the bill on the truck, Nolan sent us a copy of it anyway. I mean, they're charging out this price on parts, they're not cutting
Well, the
any kind
labor
of
was
deal.
like almost $1,500 more than the parts was.
I mean, I was in the parts business for 20 years and in the car business for 20 before that. I ain't never seen anybody get charged with this price.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know where you need to go sit down with them and tell them that if they're not willing to help us, then at the end of September, we're just gonna park ways or something, you know.
Well, I mean, has anyone talked to them, sit down and talk with Matt and them about, you know, the charges?
As far as I know, I hadn't, I don't think, so. I know Patrick talked to, Andy a little bit. But see, Andy just got thrown in this new position because Chad, he left.
Chad's not over, see, Chad's the one that put this bid and all together.
Right, so he's not there anymore.
Oh,
I think Andy's got, get that position now, Andy Turner.
okay. I mean,
But
that's something y'all need to be thinking
you know,
about, though, like I
somebody
said.
could go talk to Matt and just say, you know, this is your county too.
Yeah.
And it's not we're wanting anything, I mean, we want to pay, but some of these charges are,
I don't know, it's crazy.
The contract should list a certain percent of the cost as a maximum. That's what the previous one was, I think, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Well, it's that,
Why this is not?
in the contract under the term, it says the duration of the contract will be from April 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2023. Further, this contract may be renewed, expanded, and extended by mutual agreement for 2 more annual increments. So, if y'all ain't happy, in the next couple of months, it's time for
I ain't
this.
been happy
Was there,
for a while.
there was a 30-day notice requirement to cancel, wasn't it?
60
Was it
days.
60 days? So that's,
So you
no,
know.
that's fine, I just, we just have to get that done by the first of August.
Pass me the receipt. Okay.
I'll let one of them make a copy, I don't want to give my.
You can email me.
Yeah.
Well,
I got it, you know, I can just forward it.
yeah, you emailed it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I sign that on behalf of you? Did I sign that on behalf of you?
I did,
My name on it?
I don't think I printed the sign sheet, I printed everything but the sign sheet.
Okay.
I'm tired of paying my ink bill and my paper bill. I think we need a lot of that.
Any other questions or any other discussion items?
Make a motion with adjourn.
Before we do, I do want to ask Missy, did you, how was y'all's fundraiser? What did y'all end up raising?
Doing really good. I think it's $4,200.
$4,200. Congratulations.
Yes.
That was their first
And it was a
fundraiser.
quick fundraiser too, but we done pretty good, so.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if the sheriff wants one of us to go with him, I mean, I don't mind going, or you can go, or whatever, if you want to sit down and talk.
Well, you know that as good as anybody, don't
I
you?
mean, I don't mind going and sit down and talk to them along with the sheriff.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go by myself.
Right, I'll go.
Because it's,
I don't know, I mean, that's not my forte.
I mean, they
Sound-
need to cut us a deal. I mean, I never charge anybody that kind of prices.
Yeah.
You know,
But you know, I mean,
I mean, I'll be willing to do it, y'all just give me a call and we can work out something, but I ain't.
How soon are you gonna go?
Do I?
How soon are you gonna go? Like this week?
If we're gonna do this, let's see, September 30th, back
Well, it'll be done pretty quick.
August 1st. All right. I mean, I'll have to be something done by August 1st, I'll have to send them a letter saying we want out of contract.
Right.
But just holler at me tomorrow.
Okay.
and I don't mind going with you, but I like,
I mean,
it's
I'm
just
fine.
like if I was gonna build something, I'd want him to go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind going, but, you know, the commission's one negotiates the contract, and it's all, the sheriff's one sort of administrates it, so I just sort of think we both need to go.
All right,
Got a motion on the table, sir.
we got a motion to adjourn, do we have a second?
Also,
All in favor, say aye.
uh,